The secrets of the rich. And there's 4 main pillars. We're going to dig into them today. I use these in my manifesting game, and it works. Guys, I'm not doing too bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not exactly a multi-millionaire billionaire, but I'm doing pretty good, man. I think I'm what you would call upper middle class, right? So I'm on my way, and you can do it too. So here's the 4 pillars. I'm just going to list them off, and then I'll come back and we'll go into detail, all 4 of them. Number 1, money equals value. Money is value, both literally and figuratively. Money is value, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, the more you have, the more you get. And that has a lot to do with the law of attraction, my friends. We'll get into that one. And there's even, you could say, a scientific reason behind that one. All right, number 3, something I'm going to call money flow, which has a lot to do with your relationship with money. That's number 3. And number 4, belief. Pretty straightforward. Stick around for that one because it's the one thing that makes all of this other stuff work. So let's circle back and talk about money equals value. So I spouted off a statistic on a recent YouTube video, which was not really accurate because of the way that I worded it. And I guess it's because I'm so deprogrammed, you guys, that money and value it's not different. Those 2 things is one thing. Those 2 things are one thing in my world. So in my recent video called How to Escape the Rat Race, which I will link down below for you, and I highly recommend, because that video and this one that you're watching are very intimately related, right? The philosophy of money making and what we're talking about in today's video, right? So what I said in that video was there's enough money in the world for everybody to have millions of dollars. Well, I guess what I should have said was there's enough value in the world for everybody to have millions of dollars. If you do a quick Google search, Google is going to tell you that there's something like $90 trillion in existence. And if you divide that number by the number of people there are in the world, that's like $10,000 a person. That's definitely not millions of dollars. And of course, you know, there were some people on TikTok throwing mud at me for that one. But I guess it just goes to show you like why people are broke is because they don't understand what I'm saying. And just like a bunch of sheep who are totally incapable of having any kind of independent thought whatsoever, they just throw mud at you. So what I'm talking about. So first of all, Google, really? Google? That's where you got your statistic from? Bro. Okay, I'm going to link an article down below for you where this person explains how much money there really is in the world, okay? And it can be measured in the quadrillions. And it includes things like value and even debt, right? Which is a form of money. I'm not so sure that's a good form of money, but it is a form of money. And the true number can be measured in the quadrillions. So at minimum, you're talking about $250,000 in cash for each person. And that should be all that they need. If there's $2 quadrillion in the world. So I'm sorry to the haters, but you're going to have to do a little bit better than Google, bro. Think for yourself. Good Lord. Guys, and this is the thing. Money equals value. So there's more to this than just like cash in the bank or assets or anything like that. Because what is it that has value? Well, there's people and there's resources. So if you look at poverty-stricken countries in the world, some of them, they don't have any excuse, you guys. There's countries that have vast resources that they haven't tapped into yet. You know, one example that comes to mind is Mexico, for example, right? Mexico, you know, people there, they tend to struggle to make ends meet financially. There's a lot more people living beneath the poverty line. It's unfortunate. And, you know, a big part of the problem is that the governing bodies there, So not just the legitimate government of Mexico, but also other, let's just call them gangs. Who it's like a government. It's like there's two governments in that country. And it's really kind of sad, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's not fair to the people living in Mexico, because a lot of these governing bodies suck up all the resources, the limited resources. And it's just not a good situation. Okay, look at this. Mexico has untold, untapped resources. If I remember right, now don't quote me directly on this. I don't need the haters getting in the comments going, Kurt, you're wrong about this. No, Mexico, from what I have gathered about it, has just enormous amounts of oil that it could be drilling, or iron that they could be mining out of the ground, coal. There's plenty of land to grow food. They do a lot of that. They could do a lot more of that. They could also, it just, unfortunately, the status quo in a country like that, it's kind of run by people that aren't the best people. Mexico. And don't get me wrong, man, I live in America. I live in the United States, and we can go on and on and on all day about the way things are done here in the United States. So don't think that I'm picking on Mexico. I mean, let's face it, man, like you could make similar arguments, a similar case for all these different countries, including the United States. There's a lot of problems worldwide, guys. Don't get me wrong. That's just one of the obvious places that I think of, like Mexico or Afghanistan, which has all kinds of like rare earth metals. And that's why Western countries want to dig their claws into Afghanistan so bad, and they haven't been able to. But that's what they're after. They're after the resources. It's very selfish. It's very greedy. The exploitative nature of some of the things that people are doing. But I don't want to talk about all that stuff. If you want to leave your 2 cents down below, that's fine. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of that stuff. All I'm talking about, what I'm trying to get you to look at, is there's places in the world that are poverty-stricken and they don't have any excuse because they're sitting on all of these resources. You guys, there's enough money, there's enough money in the world for everybody to have millions of dollars. I'm not going to retract my statement, but what are we calling money? Because if you've got just mountains of untapped resources in your country and you're living in poverty, that's on you, dude. That's on you. And I don't mean the people living there. I'm talking about the people running the place. It isn't right, you guys. Everybody in the world should be able to live the way that most people in the United States do, like middle class. Shit, upper middle class. Somebody making a couple of $100,000 a year or something like that, right? You should be able to live that. Everybody in the world could do that. There is enough value on planet Earth for everybody to live like that. It's true. And that's the thing about money that people don't understand, guys. Think of a thing like gold, right? So I've got a lucky gold coin. It's about this big around. It's called a Liberty round, right? It's 1 ounce of gold, and it's worth, I think right now, at the time of the recording of this video, about $2,100. And of course, the markets, they manipulate the value of it. But that's the thing, is the more money that the central bank here in the United States prints, like the dollars, they make more dollars, the more valuable that gold coin is. Well, why? Well, because the value of the dollars that they're printing is going down. Money is just whatever people agree to use as money. Okay, people have used yak dung in the past. Britain used to use sticks of wood. I'm serious. They used that for, if I'm not mistaken, about 1,200 years, a long time. They called them tally sticks. They used literally now sticks of wood as money in Britain. So money is whatever people agree to use as money. Obviously, something like gold, it has more value. But when let's say I make $10,000 and I leave it in the bank for 10 years. So starting at day one, I've got $10,000 in the bank. I could buy let's just say $10,000 worth of food, I guess. Well, I'll just use that as an example. That's a lot of food. But maybe let me rethink this. Okay, I've got $50,000 and I can buy a car, right? So I got $50,000 in the bank, I can buy a car. If I leave that $50,000 sitting in the bank for 10 years, what's going to happen? Well, in 10 years, the $50,000, I could buy half of a car. Well, what happened? Did the price of the car go up? Well, not exactly. The value of the money that I'm using to buy the car went down, you guys. So instead of leaving the $50,000 sitting in the bank, I'm going to go buy gold with it, or maybe some kind of a blue chip stock, you know, something that's not going to lose its value, or crypto, or I don't know, whatever I think is going to hold its value, or invest in a gold mine or something like that, right? Like where could I park the money where it's going to retain its value, so that if I look at that $50,000 10 years later and I'm looking at my investment portfolio is going to say it's worth $100,000. But is that what really happened? It's value, guys. I can still buy one car with that $100,000 in 10 years, and it started out with $50,000. And 10 years ago, I could buy one car, and I can still buy one car with $100,000 10 years later. So money is value, guys. That's the way that you need to look at this. Again, this video is called The Secrets of the Rich, and there's a reason I'm spending almost 12 minutes now on this talking point. There's a reason this talking point was the first talking point, guys. Money is value, and that's exactly the way the rich look at it. The average person thinks that their house is an asset. That's not what rich people think, even if your banker lets you list it that way. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's going to tell you your house is not an asset. And when he wrote that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the publisher was like, oh yeah, you can't put that in there. You got to take that part out. And he's like, I'm not taking it out. Your house is not an asset. And everybody threw mud at him and called him stupid and said he didn't know what he's talking about. And then he finally found somebody to publish his book anyway. But get this, it was like 10 years later, 12 years later, the housing market crashed, and everybody who thought their house was an asset was getting kicked out onto the street. Well, that doesn't sound like an asset. So what happened? Yeah, your house costs you money, dude. Unless you're renting it out. If you own a house and you're renting it and it's throwing off cash, it's a liability, guys. A liability is something that costs money. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. And again, billionaires like, you know, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and, you know, those kind of guys, and multimillionaires like Robert Kiyosaki, they don't think your house is an asset. Warren Buffett would never tell you that your house is an asset. They think the way the average person looks at stuff like that, they laugh. They laugh at us, guys. You've been told all this stuff about money, guys. Money equals value. Money equals value. This is very important for you to get this. It has nothing to do with the amount of money in your bank account or in your investment portfolio. What can you buy with the money? Because again, $50,000 today, it could get me a car, but in 10 years, it's going to take $100,000. It's value, guys, value. Okay, number 2, the more you have, the more you get. Now, there's even a scientific reason for this. This is 100% law of attraction stuff. And the elite, right? I don't like to call them that. the ruling class, the nefarious ones, right? They get this. The more you have, the more you get. Now, before I explain this, before I forget, check me out over here, my friends. If you want to learn more about how our world is truly governed, I put together a special program over here on this platform. This is another platform, just like YouTube, where you can post videos. I can post videos over here. Same name, New World All-Star. All-Star is one word, A-L-L-S-T-A-R, New World All-Star. Find me over here on this platform. Okay. What's nice about this platform is I can kind of say whatever I want. Okay. You feel me? So find me over here. I put together a special program on this platform where I'm going to tell you exactly who the ruling so-called elites are and how they already have, you know, like a one world system already in operation and all the other nefarious things that they do. And I can tell you exactly who they are. They have names and faces, and how there's even spiritual warfare that they're waging against us. And I'm not kidding. And it's on video. I'm serious. Go check it out, guys. You're going to be blown away. And my goal isn't to fearmonger. What I'm trying to do over here is educate you guys about how our world really works and how they're trying to trick you into staying stuck in the matrix, right? And then move on from there, move on. And now let's talk about what are we going to do about it and how can we build a better world? I don't want to just sit there and harp on all the negativity. I want to talk about solutions. So that's going to be the next thing that I'm going to start rolling out over there on that platform later this year. Now, the more you have, the more you get. Right. It's like gravity, guys. And the nefarious ones, the so-called elite, right? The nefarious ones, they know that. They know the law of attraction is real, guys. And they're all into it. And again, I talk about that in great detail on this other platform. I explain how they do what they do and why they're doing it. And it's not exactly the nicest thing. The law of attraction, you guys, it's kind of like the Force from Star Wars, right? Where you got Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan using it for positive things, and then you've got Darth Vader and those guys doing it for not good things, right? Law of attraction, you can do either anything you want, and you'll get blowback. So if you're doing it for not good things, you're going to get blowback. That's why the nefarious ones, what they're doing, yeah, not very smart, you guys. They're going to get theirs, okay? That's just the law. That's just the way it is. But if you do it for good things, right, then you're going to get a lot of good back from that. Now, the more you have, the more you get. It's so simple, guys. It's just like gravity. Like, look at me. I worked hard to get where I am. I did not have any of this handed to me. I built my business from scratch. And I busted my tail for years to get to this point, working 80, 90, 100 hours a week, literally, built everything from scratch. And I got to tell you, that is extremely satisfying when you work hard for something like this and then you're rewarded for it. And again, I'm just getting started, you guys. The more I have, the more I get. Abundance flows to me, you guys, much easier now. It's like gravity. It's like gravity. The bigger the object, the more gravity it has. That's literally how that works, guys. So just get started. Again, go watch my video called How to Escape the Rat Race. And learn about this stuff, guys. Learn about the law of attraction. You're so powerful. Okay, number 3, money flow, which has a lot to do with your relationship with money. So first of all, people who are like a total tightwad and they never want to spend their money, that's not good. People who are greedy and rip people off, that's not good. Guys, it's all about balance. You don't want to go to either one of those two extremes. It's all about balance. So in my video talking about how to escape the rat race, I pointed out that if you're going to start a business, for example, do it as ethically as possible. Give people the best possible product for the best possible price that you can. That's the secret to success, right? Money flow. Money flows to you in an honest way, and you spend money. You don't waste it. You're not wasting money. We're not talking about getting hookers and blow in Las Vegas or something like that, you know, but you do. You're not afraid to like take a vacation. You don't hoard the money. Yeah, you've got a savings, but you're not overly doing that. You don't hoard the money, right? You allow it to flow. Money is the blood of the economy, you guys. So actual currency money, what people think of as money, right? It's the blood of the economy, you guys, okay? So this is your relationship to money. Are you holding too tightly? Well, that's fear, guys. It's fear of loss. Are you spending it too recklessly? Well, that's a problem too. And also, how do you go about getting the money? Are you charging rip-off prices? Are you creating business systems that make people dependent on you? I don't. I tell all my students this all the time. My job is to make a master out of you. I don't want you sticking around here, you know? So my coaching programs, I give everybody everything I've got. The video courses are just extremely long. I've got a law of attraction video course that's really long like that. You get a lot of value for the money, right? And then on top of all that, I also have a good relationship with money. I pay all my bills and I pay them on time. I pay my workers and I pay them well. They've got vacation, sick time, personal days, and I pay them really well. My employees, I pay all my taxes on time or ahead of time. Everything's on the up and up. I've got all the proper licenses. You know what I'm saying? Everything's on the up and up. My relationship with money is mwah. It's fabulous. So that's number 3. Number 4, belief. Need I say more? Guys, this is everything. The founder of Herbalife, Mark Hughes. Now, no matter what you think of Herbalife, I don't think it's too bad of a company. There have been some problems with some of the independent distributors. That's been a problem. But I don't know. Nobody's perfect. I don't know. But I don't think those problems came from the founder. The guy's name was Mark Hughes. And when he passed away, that's when a lot of the kind of shady stuff started happening. So, you know, figure that out for yourself, I guess. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. My point is, he was a good guy. He was an amazing person, Mark Hughes. And he said, belief is success. I never doubted for a minute that I could create a successful company that impacts people positively. And again, I was there right after he passed away. That's when I started doing Herbalife. That's when things kind of just shift with the company. So I kind of think that's what happened. Wendy's, same thing. As soon as Dave Thomas passed away, they cut the size of the hamburgers down and they jacked all the prices up. Remember that? So whatever. But guys, really, belief is everything. It's huge. The law of attraction, that is what it is. Belief is success. That's everything, guys. I'm out of time. Thank you for watching.